Ladies and gentlemen, right now the members of the left are collectively losing their minds because of President Trump's brand new approval ratings. You see, just earlier today, CBS News published the results of a massive survey regarding President Trump's performance during his first 2 weeks in office. And let's just say, if you're a Trump voter, things are going pretty well so far. So today, what I want to do is go through all of the information with you guys and really break everything down. But first, take a look at what CBS News themselves had to say about all of this. Let it roll.
Our CBS poll finds that a majority of Americans, 53%, approve of the job he's doing. That's a better approval number than he ever reached during his first term in the White House. Joining us with more is our Executive Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto. Good to see you, Anthony. What's driving this?
I will keep it simple, Margaret. He's doing, in the eyes of the public, what he said he would do in the campaign. There's political value in that. In fact, 70% of people say he's doing what he promised. That's whether they approve of him or not. Now, there's another part of this that continues over from the campaign. There were words that he was described as being tough, being energetic, and he still is today in big majority numbers. So as people take a look in these first few weeks, there's been a lot of activity. They're getting that general sense of governance, and that's being reflected in these early numbers.
So that's perception. What about the actual policies?
Well, let's start with the ones that are popular. And again, these echo a lot of what we saw in the campaign. The idea of deporting those in the country illegally continues to be popular. We saw that in the campaign. Sending troops to the U.S.-Mexico border, again, majority in favor. We'd seen that in the campaign. For his supporters in particular, the focus on ending DEI is popular. We had seen in the campaign a lot of them thought those processes had gone too far.
So hey, there you have it. And now, what's the big takeaway from all of this? Right now, President Trump's approval ratings are the highest they have ever been, ever. And so, like I said earlier, this approval survey was actually massive, so there's a ton of stuff that I want to go over today with you guys. But first, before we move on, I do want to quickly say that if you guys enjoy the videos, if you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel because it actually does help a ton with my daily struggle against the YouTube algorithm. But okay, let's start breaking all of this down. To kick things off, when asked the question, how would you describe President Donald Trump? 69% of people said tough, 63% said energetic, 60% said focused, and 58% said effective. Hey, in my opinion, these are all pretty good descriptions and also, by the way, 100% true. Trump has come back into the White House with a purpose. He's a man with a mission, and very clearly he's getting things done. But okay, when asked how President Trump is doing on his campaign promises, 70% of people said he's following through so far, whereas only 30% of people said he's failed to deliver. Now, to be perfectly honest, between you and me, I think the only campaign promise that has been a little bit lacking so far is regarding the deportation numbers. In fact, it would seem as if President Trump himself is a little bit upset over the low deportation numbers, with numerous outlets reporting that he's scrambling to get the numbers up. Now, with that being said, he has done an absolutely phenomenal job with shutting down the southern border, but we need to bump up the deportations, there's no doubt about that. Now, this is the big one. How do people feel about Trump's overall job rating? What is his total approval rating? Well, 53% of people said they approve, whereas only 47% of people said they disapprove. So like we said earlier, not only does President Trump have his highest approval ratings of all time, but hey, remember that guy, Joe Biden? When he recently left the White House, he had an approval rating of 33%. So yeah, 53% is pretty damn good. Now, when asked about Trump's plan to deport illegal immigrants, a whopping 59% of people said that they approve, whereas only 41% of people said they disapprove. Which is actually sort of insane when you think about it, because it's like, how can 41% of people actually think that it's okay to illegally enter our country and then live here illegally at the expense of the US taxpayer? These people are crazy, so hey, thank God they are not calling the shots anymore. Then, when asked about sending troops to the US-Mexico border, 64% of people approved, whereas 36% of people disapproved. Now, let's be honest here, folks. What's been going on at our southern border can only be called an invasion. And by the way, the cartels that are involved down there are quite literally terrorist organizations. So hey, in my opinion, sending troops to the border is absolutely the right move. But now, moving on, When people were asked about whether or not the US should take over the Gaza Strip, only 13% of people said that it's a good idea, whereas 47% firmly disapprove of the idea altogether. Now, here's my thing, guys. We all voted for Trump to put America first. And sending US troops back to the Middle East, again, to a desert halfway around the world, again, is not exactly my conception of America first. We have a never-ending amount of issues that we need to get taken care of here in America domestically, and I just think that we shouldn't be sending young Americans back to the Middle East. But hey, that's just my opinion. So now let's talk about the economy. When asked about Trump's focus on lowering prices, 66% of people said that Trump hasn't done quite enough just yet. And so here's my thing, guys. I hate to disappoint anyone, but lowering prices after rampant inflation has already taken effect seems to be pretty much impossible, so I wouldn't exactly be expecting prices to drastically go down anytime soon. That being said, what President Trump can do, and is already doing by the way, is lowering inflation so that the rate at which prices go up in the future is much lower and slower than it was during the Biden era. So here's a sort of depressing example of this. I'm currently 31 years old right now. When I was 18, McDonald's still had a dollar menu. Let's just say I don't think that that dollar menu is ever coming back. That's just sort of the way things go. But okay, now let's talk about tariffs. As you can see here, generally speaking, people are opposed to lasting tariffs on Mexico, Europe, and Canada, whereas most people are actually in favor of long-term tariffs on China. And I think that makes a lot of sense. In fact, I don't even think that Trump himself wants to impose long-term tariffs on anyone other than China. What seems to be the case to me is that Trump predominantly uses tariffs as tools of negotiation in order to get other countries to chip in their fair share. And that's exactly what he's done so far with Mexico, Canada, and Colombia. But okay, what about Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency, the DOGE? Well, check this out. 31% of people said that they disapprove of Elon Musk having any influence or oversight whatsoever on our government spending, whereas 69% of people think it's actually okay for Elon to have some amount of influence and oversight on the way the federal government operates. And folks, I'd imagine the people in that 31% group probably look a little something like this. These are the people that are currently melting down. Hey, in fact, take a look at the very next question. Here are the party affiliation demographics for how people responded to whether or not Elon Musk should have influence on the government's spending. As you can see, almost all of the people saying he shouldn't be involved whatsoever are Democrats, but actually take a look at this. What's really surprising here is that over half of all Democrats, 51%, actually think that Elon Musk should be involved. So hey, keep in mind, all of these people that are currently melting down and losing their minds over Elon Musk and the DOGE are actually an extreme minority. Albeit a very loud and annoying minority. But hey, folks, there you have it. As you can see, Trump is absolutely killing it right now, and pretty much everyone approves of what he's doing. We know that for a fact, we just got the numbers. So ladies and gentlemen, it's looking to me like we are so incredibly back, and we really are in the process of making America great again. But hey, I think that's all I've got for you guys today, so please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. Please like the video if you liked it. Please consider subscribing. Like I said earlier, it really does help a ton. Thank you all very much for watching, and of course, as always, stay safe.